merely by its infrastructure or the equipments that it provides, but rather by the brilliance of the minds it nurtures. The Electrical and Electronics Department have always been the cradle for some of the most outstanding research carried out at BITS Pilani. Continuing to build on this legacy, we are gathered here today for a discussion that would join the Pilani, Goa and Hyderabad campuses of BITS Pilani for a better understanding of the ways in which it would guide their interest. Followed by me would be the introduction of the panelists from all the campuses, and thereupon
Vikram?
Hyderabad campus. Can you hear me?
Hello, can you hear us?
Huh?
I'm from Hyderabad campus. Can you hear us?
Huh?
Can you hear us?
Yeah, we can hear you clearly. You can start with your panelist introduction.
Yeah, sure. Good evening, everyone. We take this opportunity to introduce our esteemed panelists from Hyderabad campus. On the panel, we have Dr. Subhendu Kumar Sahu. Dr. Sahu is currently an assistant professor with the Department of Electrical Engineering. His research interests include VLSI architecture and signal processing applications. We also have Dr. Prashant Kumar Patnaik. He's currently an assistant professor with the Department of Electrical Engineering. His research interests include MEMS and photonics. We have Dr. KVG Chandrasekhar. He's currently an assistant professor with the Department of Chemistry. He is also an assistant dean with the Practice School Division. Thank you, and I pass on over to Goa campus now.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Saril Chakravarti, and I shall be introducing the panelists from Goa. We have with us today Dr.
Why is their screen getting shared?
The screen is not getting shared from our campus, the slides.
Goa campus, we are not able to view your slides.
Yeah, are you able to view the slides now?
Yeah, they're there now.
Okay. So we have with us Dr. K.R. Anupama, the HOD of EEE and ENI Department of BITS Pilani KK Birla Goa campus. Her field of research spans network embedded systems and deeply embedded systems. She teaches various courses on microprocessor programming and interfacing, digital design, embedded system designs, and VLSI architecture. Next, we have Dr. Anita Agarwal, Assistant Professor in EEE and ENI Department. Her field of research is biomedical image processing, biomedical instrumentation, and smart grid power monitoring. She teaches courses in digital electronics and computer organization, analog electronics, analog and digital VLSI design. We also have with us Mr. Sarang Dongri, lecturer in EEE and ENI Department. His field of research is underwater wireless sensor networks. He teaches courses in digital signal processing, communication systems, and mobile telecommunication systems. We also have Dr. C.K. Ramesha, who specializes in semiconductor devices and analog electronics. He teaches courses on analog electronics, electrical sciences, and microelectronics. Thank you. Now I hand it over to the Hyderabad campus. Pilani campus, sorry.
Now we will start with introduction of panel from Pilani campus. We have with us Professor Raghurama, Director of BITS Pilani, Pilani campus. His research interests include telecommunication switching and networks, virtual private networks, and web caching. We have with us Professor S. Guru Narayan, Dean of Work Integrated Learning Programs. His research interests include embedded system, digital design, VLSI architecture. We also have with us Dr. Anu Gupta, Head of Department, EEE and ENI, Pilani. Her research interests include low power mixed signal VLSI design. Now we have with us Professor Sureka Bhatta, Unit Chief, Instrumentation Unit, Pilani. She is also Warden of Meera Bhavan, Pilani. Her research interests include sensors, artificial intelligence in process modeling. We have with us Mr. Dhirendra Singh, Assistant Professor, Pilani Campus. His research interests include power quality, active filter. We have with us Dr. Abhijit Asati, Assistant Professor, Pilani Campus. His research interests include high performance VLSI data part design. Then we have with us Dr. Navneet Gupta, Assistant Professor, Pilani Campus. His research interests include microprocessor design, micro-coded controller design. Then we also have with us Mr. Pawan Sharma, lecturer, Pilani Campus. His research interests include microprocessor programming and interfacing. Thank you. Now I'll hand over to Yashvi.
Hello. Yeah. So good evening, everyone. As we all know that the EEE department of BITS Pilani is known for its excellence and diversified knowledge imparted to the students in the core area of electronics, instrumentation and communication. But recently we have seen a major change in the curriculum and from the 2011 batch onwards. So posting my first question, I would like to ask the faculty over here with what perspectives in mind this new course structure was designed for the 2011, as in the batches coming ahead. So I would like to pose this question in particular to Professor Guru Narayan. So sir, can you just take it up? I would request you to press the push look at me button and answer the question.
So the question, I understand, perspective of curriculum change for a EEE department. I think the curriculum revision is a process, I'll put it this way. Curriculum revision is a process which should be a continuous process for any university to sustain. What we have done as an university in the last 2 years, a structured curriculum revision as a process was taken up. The curriculum of the university is benchmarked with the best of the universities in the world, top 3 universities, and then mapped with the curriculum, and based on that the revision is done. Am I audible? So that is the genesis of the curriculum revision. So if you come to the specific to EEE department courses, so there are courses which are, we thought, core to the courses to come forward. So some of the courses which was earlier in the 3rd year, brought to the 2nd year, with the objective of bringing more discipline-oriented courses into the curriculum. So I'll take an example of a course in digital design, which was initially in 3rd year. We thought digital design could be a basic course which will help us in doing higher courses in, for example, if you want to do a course on processor, if you want to do a course on architecture, if you wanted to do a course on, let's say, analog and digital VLSI design, the digital design becomes a basic course. So we thought that should be brought in 2nd year. And there were courses on, earlier it used to be electrical sciences 1 and electrical sciences 2, which used to cover circuits, electronics and machines. It was packed heavily in those 2 courses. So in the new curriculum, the courses on electrical machines and courses on electrical sciences, which talks about basic electronics, and the course on electronic devices, which talks about the devices, these are all brought in 2nd year. Therefore, now we could take more advanced courses in the 3rd year. And that is how the curriculum revision was structured. I'm sure the head of the department may also add to it more information.
Ma'am, would you like to add?
What I suppose is that the aim was to give EEE student more exposure and deepen his, you can say, perception in the field of electronics, so that he can plan himself or he can design his career from this point onwards. So that was kept in mind when we said, okay, a student must have more flexibility towards doing more electives. He should get exposed to as many areas as possible. He should be allowed to do more projects so that he can better visualize his career when he leaves this institute.
I would request someone from Goa campus to take up. As per my knowledge, I have Professor Anupama over there. So, ma'am, can you just tell us that what were the various disadvantages? What were the various advantages of the curriculum, which was for the third year, right? As in, right now, the third year and fourth year dualites are doing the old course structure. So, can you just brief up that what are the second yearites missing from that particular course structure?
Okay, you want to know what are the courses which are currently not available to the second years?
No, actually, I want you to emphasize on the fact that what would have, as in, it would have been better if they would have done a few courses like presently. I have done ES2. I'm in my fourth year, and the second yearites are doing their, as in, they have a compulsory course on electrical machines, as per my knowledge. So, why is it done so? As in, we had a choice between EMEC and EDIC. So, can just enlighten us?
See, they are doing EMEC also. I mean, your electrical machines covers quite a bit of electrical sciences too, and a part of EMEC. So, it doesn't mean they are not doing electrical machines or EMEC. They are also doing EDIC. They have it as electronic devices, but they are doing EDIC as well. Now, as Professor Gurunaran was saying, it was felt that there was a need to have more core courses. So the only way to begin and have more core courses was to have it from the second year. Now, that doesn't mean you cannot do interdisciplinary courses, because you still have open electives where you can pick up courses from other disciplines as well. So I think there is an advantage in the sense you have more disciplinary electives now, you are doing more core courses. Some of the courses which were electives earlier have been brought into the core courses. So maybe some of you were missing certain electives, now you're doing it as a core course. You're doing both EMEC and EDIC now. It's not that you're not doing it.
Okay. Moving on to the next question. It's generally that most BITSian wonder that what is the basic difference between electrical engineer, an electronics engineer, a communication engineer, or an instrumentation engineer. When we come into our third year or fourth year, we generally are aware of it. But then if I consider the first yearites and second yearites, I would, I personally feel that it would be really good if they are enlightened upon this particular fact. So I would request Professor Surekha Bhano to take up with the instrumentation part. And
for the instrumentation, many of the queries are like there, what is the difference between electronics and instrumentation and this EEE versus this? Basically, instrumentation is the science and art of measurement and control. That one should always keep in mind that automation that is there, in which that is a core. In this, control is a core part of it. And that is why instrumentation is multidisciplinary as well as interdisciplinary. It has applications like you can say starting from the you can see investigation from the atomic level up to space exploration, or medical sciences, healthcare, robotics, industries. It has application. And as the technology grows, so instrumentation also grows. Like starting from mechanical instrumentation, we had pneumatic, hydraulic, and then we went to hardwired electronic instrumentation. Then it was all computer-based, PC-based. So computers, communication, and cross-fertilization of technologies, that play a very important role in instrumentation. And like starting from 1960s, if the instrumentation cost was around 10 to 12%, nowadays it has reached up to 25% of the total capital cost of a big industry. You think of SCADA, DCS, PLCs, they are all computer-based, and extensive communication is there. That is why you can control even a large factory from your home, anywhere, any plant you can control. And another three technologies that are going to come in instrumentation, these are like biotechnology, information technology, and nanotechnology. So this will again offer new avenues for instrumentation engineers. Coming to the career options, if we come, the major one is the process industry, where you have automation. So in this, we have private sectors, public sectors. You think of refineries, petrochemicals, fertilizers, cement, paper, textile, food industries. You need instrumentation engineers. And coming to your public sector, you have like NTPC, BHEL, GAIL, IOCL. And the kind of work that is there is you have design, development, installation, fabrication, maintenance. These are the kind of job that will be required there. Now, the second kind of job that instrumentation engineer can expect is like this engineering procurement, the kind of job Engineers India Limited people do. So like they will make P&I diagrams. They will tell you that which is the best instrument to employ there. Then, of course, there are some students, they can go for even sales and marketing jobs. And that is also a highly technical job. Like in National Instruments, some of our engineering students, they are going there also. Then R&D organizations are there, like CSIR labs are there, DRDO, ISRO, TERI. There also one can find good career opportunities where you have to develop new measurement techniques. Then, of course, one can go for higher studies. One can go for MTech, take GATE exam. And at least in BITS, we don't have ME or MTech in instrumentation, but in IIT Madras, IIT Delhi, IIT Kharagpur, we have very good program in ISC Bangalore also. Or you can take GRE and then pursue your MS or PhD program. The current exciting PhD areas in which I am finding our students are going there, MEMS-based sensors and actuators, application of artificial intelligence in process modeling and control, signal processing, robotics, even circuit design. So these are, and photonics, biophotonics, healthcare, these are the areas in which the students are doing their PhD work.
That was a good explanation of what an instrumentation engineer can go into and what all basically he or she, if he is aiming for an instrumentation background, like he wants to go for an instrumentation. Okay, passing on to the Hyderabad campus, as we all know that electronics and communication is only in Hyderabad campus. So I would like to hear it from a faculty in Hyderabad campus that what is the difference in the courses which we study in EEE, ENI, ECE, as in the basic differences for the communication engineer, and also the career opportunities and job opportunities. Like Sareka ma'am over here said.
Hey, hello, I'm Sahu. We have in the communication EEE, there is this electronics communication. We have separate courses like communication network, which is slightly different from, we have data communication, which is advanced version, little bit advanced version. But we have advanced digital communication as part of this communication course. But along with that, many advanced communications requirements are there, which still we cannot teach in this course curriculum because of the limited course structure and other constraints. So, now just we are discussing with Professor MBS, he told that the present scenario, the wireless communication, we are talking regarding 3G, we are using 3G, but 4G, 5G, 6G, and 7G, up to that, the communication research has started. So in such directions, there will be great potential in terms of how the advanced digital communication can work. And another thing, if the that much high-speed bandwidth will be available, how to utilize it for different requirements. So such possibilities will be there, which can be explored. Thank you. If anyone else want to add, please you can
add. One particular as a quick review of electrical also, as we had discussed upon communication and instrumentation. I would request Professor Dhirinder to take up the question that as in what are the future perspectives for an electrical engineer? Like one I know is basically in the power sector. So can you just elaborate us, as an enlighten us on that particular?
Hello, good evening. This is Dhiren Singh. Yeah, as the question that what electrical engineers are supposed to do, I tell you, our daily requirement of energy, 70% of that we meet through the electrical energies. And we have a fast dwindling natural resources. So from where this energy is coming? How to generate the energy which can meet the requirement? So in electrical engineering, we mostly study that how we can generate the electrical energy, what are the new sources of the energies, and how we can best utilize them. For the best utilization, that means, how we can reduce the losses occurring in that energy conversion. So electrical engineering point of view, like we study about generations, transmission and distributions mostly. And as far as the job scenario is concerned, there are a lot of companies like NTPC, BHEL, ABBs in private sectors, in Siemens in the private sectors. They are doing a lot of research for, they are coming out the newer products. So there, like electrical engineers can contribute. And a lot of research are going on worldwide also. People can, engineers can go to the research side also. Research nowadays, they are like, as we know that the fossil fuels are dwindling. They have they have a stock of for next 50 years. So the research more is concentrated on the renewable energies, the solar sectors, wind sectors. So if you go in a European countries, there are like a lot of research are going on to develop the solar cells. So people can try there also. So this is these are the opportunities. There is a student can have a chance to grab those opportunities. This is all from my side.
Any other faculty would like to add something from all the campuses?
I would like to add just one thing. Actually, this is a sector which would always be crucial for us because energy is a crucial need of our day-to-day life. So electrical engineers, they should not think that they are less than electronics engineer. That is certainly not a thing to be. And with our government now putting so much resources on energy research, especially renewable energy research. So electrical energy is one such domain which is going out to be a major thrust and research area. And we need very active research workers in this, research scientists, good industries. They are really putting their resources are in the R&D department. So students, they should not, because I have seen students having this perception. So they should remove this perception from this thing from their mind and come out openly and take up the courses in the direction and try to build something, try to have a good knowledge base and build on that. There's a lot of opportunities, especially in the countries where they have totally banned the fossil fuel, and everything is more or less being generated either through hydroelectric power or the wind power. So search for those countries. You will find a lot of data on the website regarding such countries. One such country is the Norway. So you can easily go to that countryside and then look for what are programs they have. There are various research groups working on this direction. So I want our students to be clear from this perception and come forward in this particular area.
Just a follow-up question to this particular thing, that in BITS, what are the various research opportunities as in we can go into in the particular field of energy sectors? And like we were talking about energy sector in electrical branch. So if some students want to pursue some particular research in say solar energy, so what are the various opportunities which BITS provides to the students?
Opportunities are, you can say,
Actually,
we
in
offer
case of as in projects.
So we have courses on renewable energy. We have faculty. We have faculty who are expert in this area.
See, I tell you, as I mentioned, that we are nowadays focusing on the renewable energies, how we can harness that energy which is available in the abundance, right? So we are focusing more on the solar energies. And for trapping that energy, we need some power electronics converters, right? So we have a faculty who are working in the evolving some methodology to how they can extract the maximum energy which is falling on the earth. So there is plenty of opportunities, and we have a very good labs We are working with the collaboration with the CEE Pilani. They are also doing very good research. So those who are interested, they can contact me. I can take them to the labs. I can give them overviews that what they can do. And in current semester, I am taking the power electronics course, which is very much like useful for the students who have an interest in electrical engineering. And there, I'm planning to give this, putting one topic on the renewable energies and the interfacing with the power electronics.
Sir. Now, moving on to the next question, I'd like to put it to Professor Anita at Goa campus. Ma'am, from a dualites perspective, how would you suggest that they can take the maximum advantage of both their degrees? Like, if we generally have heard this particular thing that physics plus EEE is a really good combination. Can you just elaborate on some other combinations?
Yeah. So this dual degree concept is mainly to encourage the students to become more research oriented. Secondly, it expands your career opportunities. Of course, you may be aware of that. The biggest advantage of this is that the time that you have to spend in getting 2 degrees is very less as compared to the time that is spent in first going for a full 4-year program and then pursuing for another 4 years to get another degree. And definitely very few or no one will be ready to go for this particular program after putting in lot of efforts for the first degree itself. Now, how does it help in your career? Of course, it expands your career opportunities. Take for example, now the research area which I had taken up for my PhD work was biomedical image processing. So that was an area in which I wanted to have some background in biology as well as computer science as well as electronics. And that is the point of time when I realized that I wish I could have a dual degree program in which I would have covered up most of the aspects of biology, or you can say instrumentation, and so that I could have saved my time now to start from the scratch. Now, coming to physics and EEE, of course, you will see that most of the applications which are EEE based, they arise from physics. Physics is the backbone of EEE. So you cannot complete, or you cannot say that you have complete knowledge in EEE without knowing the basics of physics. If you have a degree of physics as well as EEE, definitely you will, I think, produce miracles out of that. Coming to research side, even you might have seen that in the placements, there are in Goa campus itself, most of our students, that is EEE based students, they are getting placed in IT based companies. So there they have to start with the computer knowledge. So if they would have the dual degree of computers and EEE, that would have helped them a lot. They would have taken less time to set. And even coming to automotive applications, you will see that all the mechanical is controlled by the electronics. So there the advantage of mechanical and electronics comes into picture. So every area almost is a multidisciplinary area in which you do require the knowledge of multiple domains. So that is why I feel that it's a very important selection. It's an important choice. And those who didn't have this choice, really, they are really feeling that if they could have the advantage of this dual degree program.
Other faculty like to add up something, as someone from Hyderabad campus?
Good evening. B1A8 combination is also one of the very good opportunities. So biology with instrumentation. I feel that should also be well sought after. Apart from B5A3 combination, B1A8 combination, biological sciences with instrumentation, is also one of the very good opportunities.
Moving on to this next question, which is actually connected to this particular question, like Professor Anita said that some multidisciplinary courses are, as in if you do a multidisciplinary course, maybe say in a bio you do a particular course, and then if you want to go into a biosensors, like so over there at Hyderabad also said that B1E8 is a good combination. So sort of, as in the next question is particularly regarding the electives. Like generally, I have seen few of my friends who are taking electives in the same field, as in they want to go into a same specialization area. And there are few students who take electives which are multidisciplinary. So as in they might do an elective in, say for example, fuzzy logic, then they do some electives in communication, then also they might try to do an elective in VLSI design. So there are people who try to explore various fields and they try to decide upon that what should we do. So I would like to ask this particular question to our HOD Professor Anugupta, that whether this sort of an approach, that trying out various electives in various fields would suit, as in what sort of students should try that particular approach?
Okay, if we are saying that having a dual degree is always beneficial, where you know about the basics of both and you can actually go for a multidisciplinary kind of research. Like we can have a biology with instrumentation, we can have computer with electronics, we can have mathematics with computer, mathematics with electronics. Same way, same thing applies for doing projects also. At the BE level, if you plan to go in for your higher studies, what I suggest is that you should first expose yourself. Because I think till second year, no EEE student knows, or very few of them knows, I would say, about the kind of area they want to go into. So, because within EEE and instrumentation, there is a lot of areas in which specialization can be done. It can be, you can be a mechatronic, you can go to mechatronics, you can go to robotics, you can go to VLSI, you can go to signal processing, you can go for medical electronics, you can go for bioinstrumentation. There are so many fields. So unless you have a knowledge about all of them, you cannot choose. Or you end up in choosing something which you may not be of right for your perception and aptitude. So I would say right from your second year onwards, go for at least looking for all the possible specializations which are available. You start surfing the various university websites, look at their research programs, try to think over them, and then start visualizing the kind of area you want to go into. Meanwhile, you would be doing your core courses also. Foundation courses you would have finished. So going for a single, taking up projects only in the single direction, I don't suggest is entirely, I don't think it's going to benefit you all. Because unless you expose yourself, you will not be able to make an intelligent decision. So right from your 2-1, you start, first of all, at least going through the research programs of various universities, look at the various options available within our university. At least that thing you should start planning. And when the 3-1, 3-2, you should start taking up your topics. By that time, you must be able to come to few, maybe one or two specialization area which seems for you that they are of interest to you. Do projects in them, take electives from those areas, and try to see which out of these two, which one is more suited for your temperament, for your aptitude. And in 4-1, you go for those discipline electives or open electives which will be your career direction. So I won't suggest you take electives only in one field. No. Rather, this is the stage where you should expose yourself to all various possible options. Focus on your aptitude. You have to weigh yourself. And then by 4th year, you have to come to some conclusion, okay, this is the area I want to go into. So I would suggest that multidisciplinary elective would be more useful to you than going for doing electives only in the single field.
Else like to add up something?
Yeah, I want to add, I'll suggest the students, while choosing the electives, one should consider what is his own interest, rather influenced by their seniors or their friends. They should not choose the elective based on their advice. They should look their interest first. That is what I want to suggest.
One thing, I feel that if there are some students now who are very clear about that in which area they will like to work, like if they are clear that they want to go for higher studies and in which area they want to go for higher studies, then it is good that they take some projects also in that area and they take some courses also. Because what I've seen is when they apply for MS or something, they want recommendation. So unless you have worked with a teacher closely, it is very difficult for a teacher to give recommendation also. Because only in project you work very closely with the teacher, and the teacher gets to know your style of working, your aptitude. So if you are very clear that you have to go for higher studies, you should do 1 or 2 projects also. That's what I feel. And suppose you are not very clear about the area, then it is better that you take electives from various disciplines also. Like it may be simple, like maybe finance related also, maybe marketing related. Maybe if somebody is not good in like communication, they can even take effective public speaking type of courses also. Or otherwise, like somebody is in instrumentation, there are areas like signal processing is there, AI techniques is there, circuit design is there, process control instrumentation is there. So then they should, if they are not very clear in which area they want to do their MS or something, then it is better that they take electives from these areas and then decide.
And one thing I would suggest is that if you are not clear, at least go to the faculty and talk with them. I think this is one thing where not many students, they come to us. They don't come to us. They themselves are not clear and they don't even come and have a talk with us. I would suggest that if you are not very clear, at least start meeting the faculty members and start discussing with them. That would be very useful and will be very fruitful to you.
So moving on to the next question, we have talked about electives, but as in this particular question generally arises in the minds of students, that what are the demanding areas in which generally students miss upon at BITS, and what are the areas as in how can they avail them? Like I have seen a few friends of mine doing courses at Coursera. There are online courses which are being done. So how would you suggest that students can take the maximum benefit of it? Are there some other methods also by which they can? Professor Sahu can take up this question from Hyderabad campus.
I can, this is one of the, one direction on which we can say that, okay, so many online courses are available, and within limited curriculum, so many courses covering is also not possible. So student can find out his own interest field, and in that field find out a person who is good in that field, good university, and find out that faculty's course they can take. This is one option. Other option which I can think is many scholarships are available from international funding agencies. So students can see, I don't know whether for the students is there any platform from which they can know what are the scholarships available or not. If not, students can create a place where all the scholarships available will be, students can see and find out what are that available, and then can apply so that they can go for other universities wherever whatever possibilities are there and spend some time. This is the second thing. Third thing is collaborative research, because though BITS has started research, in some places it feels because net is available in which we can go to other universities, find out what are the research going on, and assume you are finding out, okay, one field is of my interest. Then you can see what are those type of research they are doing. Out of that, assume for example, VLSI architecture, for me I am taking. VLSI architecture, some student is doing, for finding out interest of VLSI architecture and finding out that is the specific area. Then from that university you find out what is that field, and you can find out in your campus who is the faculty in that field working. So then you can discuss with him that I am interested to do this type of work. Will you be interested to guide me? So then you can have a internal guide inside campus and external guide outside universities. And I know many universities they are to take BITS students to help them in research work, to initiate research work. So in that way, it is possible that student can explore the other opportunity to get into this field. And along with this, this is how you can explore. Another thing is that some of the things which we have already discussed, energy is one thing, renewable energy, and now the device physics level, Intel has started up to 20 nanometer, and the size is now getting down. But the amount of research in course it is not possible to include those things. Student can explore what can be done, how that low scale device physics can be explored. Second thing is that as the size is decreasing, we are putting more processors in a small area, multi-core processors, and so much computational facility. Now in one phone itself, 4 cores are available. In Galaxy, Samsung Galaxy, 4 cores are available. Now how to utilize that core for different applications, for signal processing applications? In fact, the capability of that will be more than a PC. How to utilize that? Third thing, which we have already discussed, that in communications, the wireless communication, the progress is continuing. So all these are emerging fields. In future, there will be demand. So in that, if a student can explore, find out, and as to his interest, he can choose and go through, that will be good. I request Professors of Pilani and Hyderabad to add on this topic. Thank you.
What I feel is that we are lacking on 2 things like energy and environment. These are the 2 things. And what is the impact of technology on society? And somehow this has to be hammered on our students that whatever technology we make, it should be pro-people and pro-nature. So this we should somehow inculcate in the students.
Absolutely correct.
Okay, fine. As we have talked about multi-university, as in there are opportunities for as in someone wants to do a project somewhere under some professor outside in some other university. I would like Professor Raghurama to enlighten us on the fact that how can we do projects multi-campus? If you can please.
Okay, at the outset, I should clarify, I am not a member of the panel. I think I am here just to listen to all of you. Of course, I will answer your question. But before I answer, I also want to congratulate you and your friends across the 3 campuses for this wonderful effort. I'm very happy to see that a large number of students have joined together, and I was little apprehensive when some of you met me 3 days back and asked about this. I asked you repeatedly, have you planned it properly? I do see that you have done a good job. So my congratulations to all of you. And the second part is I would like to hear a few more reactions from the students to what has been said by the faculty members. Don't make this session as you asking questions and some wise men and women here advising you. Okay, so let us throw it open for some random questions from not in unorganized way, but control that. But let the questions emerge from students. That is the other suggestion I have. Now, coming to the specific question that you asked, how does this allow to do cross-campus research? The idea of putting up such infrastructure is enabling cross-campus collaboration between faculty and students. Actually, what is happening today is a demonstration of that. You should use this facility to create groups which could work on projects of interest to you. You asked the question, which Gurunarayan and the other colleagues talked about, what is that in the new curriculum? Let me make it clear that there is nothing like what is electrical and electronics engineering, what is electronics, and communication engineering. If there is one universal definition, everyone would have done it the same way all over the world. So it is not the question of what is that we are missing or what is not there, what is there. It's okay. You can have different themes for the degrees. But what is more important is what you do with that courses that you have. The new curriculum, when we designed, we made 2-3 components inherent in the design. One is hands-on learning. The second thing is lab component. Third thing is working in groups. So as you come into your discipline courses, these are the 3 things you should keep in mind. You should know how to work in groups among yourself. this is what you enjoy doing. But other than what you do outside the classroom on non-academic affairs or matters, do a similar effort on the courses, subjects that you do. I'll tell you, you'll do wonderful things because you know how to work in groups. Now work in cross-campus groups. There are facilities. We have WebEx licenses, which I do not know whether students have access to that WebEx licenses. If it is not, please talk to Professor Rahul Banerjee and get access to that. If you, 5 of you want to, Skype, etc., but even this must be possible. You can work in groups, discuss on a topic, and work with 3 faculty members across the campus. That is one way of doing jointly across the campus. The second thing is some of the, for example, a few students from Hyderabad campus did approach me, not me directly, but through their director, whether they can come to Pilani campus and work in CRELI or work with some professor in Pilani campus. Similarly, I know a few students will have questions whether they can go and then work in another campus under the supervision of another faculty member. It may be difficult to work on a project throughout the semester, but I do foresee these possibilities where you can go and then spend some time and come back. Today, we don't have a structured mechanism for that. We will see the interest and we will see how best we can support this. As far as practice school is concerned, you may be working in another city. Some of the students here may be doing a practice school in Hyderabad. Use this opportunity. If you are also interested in working in with some professor, go to the campus. I am sure I can speak to on behalf of my colleagues. If a student goes from Pilani campus to Goa or Hyderabad campus, the faculty will certainly spend some time with them and tell them what their area is, whether there is any possibility of working. And carry forward with this interaction, identify interested groups, and then approach some of these faculty. From whatever I can do to support you, I will be there.
So just a follow-up question for this particular thing. Like, if I'm interested in doing a thesis in communication field, particularly, like Professor Sahu said that communication networks. So is it possible that I can do a thesis at Hyderabad campus and for communication networks, or is it like difficult for students?
You said you are in the 4th year.
Yeah, I'm in the 4th year.
So the problem will be, next semester, can you go first? In the first semester itself, I don't have an answer because I don't have the Dean of Research. But so if your specific question for you, I don't have an answer today. But
actually, it's a general question that
I do foresee a student of one campus doing a thesis in another campus. The issue will be in terms of where does she or he stay. That is the only main issue which you have to deal with. If we can identify 3 of the students from Pilani campus going to Hyderabad and 3 from there coming here, I'm sure Professor Rao and me will be very happy to allow this exchange. It will not always happen that way. One student wants to go, there is no room there. So we will, there's a commitment at our level we have that we will allow this cross-campus movement, but we have to be convinced that there is a clear logistics arrangement. So I don't have an answer whether it will happen next semester, but
we have first year rights over here, so might be they can.
I'm certainly looking forward for such moments.
So as Sir said that we can have an open question answer session. So you, first we will have questions from Hyderabad campus or Goa campus. We will just have it campus by campus, and there are coordinators in every campus who are passing on chits. If they haven't, please pass on. So either you can ask the questions directly, and if you want to have it anonymous, which I won't, I don't think that should be done. But still, you can ask questions by clicking the look at me button next to your mic and just ask the question directly to any faculty at any campus. If someone from Pilani is ready, they can have.
Hello. I would like to.
Like to this is from Goa.
Yeah, Goa.
Yeah.
Why there is a limitation on number of electives which you can do in your semester? Like I'm in 3rd year. There is a limitation on me that I can do my 6 electives Otherwise, I can't come for the next time or something. Like 4-1, I have to stay in home if I complete my 6 electives. Because for the second year, my juniors, they are having lots of opportunity to do many technical electives. So they can, they can complete many electives as much as they can, and they'll get to know many fields because of that. So it's better if you could get chance to do many electives. Like why there is a limitation on that?
From which faculty?
Dr. Anupama, you want to answer that question, because I don't know what is the specific context is asking this question, but there may be a broader context to this question. That is, when somebody finishes the requirement of a degree, should she or he be allowed to continue in the campus to do more courses? That is one possible question. The second thing is, in Goa campus, there may be a limit of courses that Dr. Anupama will address. I will answer the first part if you had any, if the question was directed to that. We would be happy to keep you in the campus for the next 10 years if you want to do all the courses that are offered here. We have no problem. But for logistics, if you are ready to pay, whether you pay or some new student pays, how does it matter from the fees point of view? It doesn't. And we are not promised to ourselves that every year we will, to the nation, we have to produce so many. That is not the way we are looking at. However, if you have completed, then you can go. Because of the problem of making this arrangement for stay, we don't know how many will stay. We can't make that plan. So when your term is over, you go. And in some sense, we'll also ensure that somebody is not here because one of his friend is set to graduate, and she or he will stay here for one more semester saying that I will do some extra courses. So there will be some limit on the number of courses. But in Pilani campus, as far as I know, we don't have 6 courses limit. I think there is 5.
For third years and fourth years, we have 6 electives which we can do, but that we can extend it to 10 with the permission of.
With the permission you
Definitely.
can do. So
can do at max 10.
Must be similar. Dr. Anupama, you want to address that specific question of the Goa student?
Yes, sir. I think the same thing is there in all campuses with 6, which is extendable, provided the student gets the required permission. We don't say that once you finish 6, you have to leave. No one says that.
So you have the answer. You can do more courses.
Will you ask in here?
Does that
Actually, the
answer-
arts in like one of my friend asked in ARC. He got the answer like there's a limitation that you can do 6 electives and.
See, you can do 6 electives, but ARC will also tell you that you can get special permission and do it. For example, there is a mechanical engineering student who's finished all his elective slots, but he's staying back and he's actually doing several of the EEE courses because he wants to apply in the area which is in bordering on mechanical and electronics. Now, we are allowing him to do my courses. He's doing my course. He's doing Dr. Ramesha's course, for instance. I think he's also doing a course with Sarang. So we do allow the students. We are not saying no, but you require permission for that. And when you ask for permission, we are not going to deny it if it is a reasonable number of courses that you want to do. And it is available as an elective. We are allowing the mechanical students to do our courses. So why should we stop you?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let's have more specific questions regarding EEE and ENA, not over the as in how many electives can we take. That would be more preferred. Can we have one question from Hyderabad? As we have a time constraint, we will just keep it to 1-1. So let's have one from Hyderabad.
I'm Sakshi Gupta from Hyderabad campus, and my branch is biological science. So my question is, how can students utilize their summer break after 1-2 to gain experience in terms of lab work or research areas?
In Hyderabad, you have so many research labs. So I think you can go there. You have CCMB is there. So many pharmaceutical industries are there. So in Hyderabad, there should not be any problem.
There are many organizations who offer summer internships. I think you need to explore those things and you can apply over there.
Her question is 1, 2 is the second semester
After
of first year.
After first year.
So summer internship maybe, I don't know. Sakshi Gupta, is the question
Yes.
very specifically at the end of first year
Yeah,
or
because
any
that's
summer at the end of first year? That is the
at
question.
the end of first year, right?
Okay.
That's scientific, some labs.
We can have Professor Chandrasekhar from there answering the question.
Yeah, actually, I'm not sure whether you are looking only for biology-related type of companies or is it in general or B1, A3 combination type of.
In general.
Because in Hyderabad, we have companies such as IICT, CCMB, CDNA, Center for DNA Fingerprinting and Diagnostics. Several such organizations are available where you can explore, but first year knowledge probably is not sufficient enough to give them specific projects for you. I'm sorry, you have to bear with me because my throat is not well. I'm not well. And with respect to PS1 point of view, I can definitely answer you. But that will be at the end of your second year. So by then you will be completing several courses, including courses such as digital design, electrical machines, electronic devices, microprocessor interfacing. Several such courses you will be completing it by the end of your second year. And I'm sure that in PS1, once you complete initial 2 weeks for spending the knowing about the organization, you'll be having specific projects. And in those projects, I'm sure that you'll be able to add more value as you are doing core courses in your right second year itself.
I would like to rephrase my question. It is like, how can we, based on our ability after the first year, how can we utilize our summers?
So, okay, Chandrasekhar, just I think, how do you utilize your summer? So let me tell you what we have a plan for the summer. It's also a question that we have been posing to ourselves. What is that we can do to utilize the summer? We will be offering more courses during summer. Today, we don't offer courses. Many of those courses that we offer during summer may be cross-campus using this technology. So if you are staying in the campus, you may attend some of those courses. The second thing is, this is the time everyone needs some break. When you spend 10 months on some heavy academics, learn to relax 1 or 2 months. Okay? Enjoy. Go for skiing, riding, visit some nice places. But you need not do that all the 60 days. This will give you an exposure to other things that happens in the world. And it's very important, very important. When you see that, let me, it's okay. So the point is that when you do that, because second year end, you are busy with the practice school. Third year end, if you're a biology student, if you're doing a dual degree, I'll tell you, your life is going to be a little more tougher because if you want to finish in 5 years, you have to do summer courses, which you will be offering. So first year is something which you should learn to relax.
Thank you, sir. Can we have a question from Pilani campus? Very quick question. Yeah, you can just press.
Yeah, my name is Yash Vakilna. I am 4th year student of Bio and EEE. I am interested in biological sciences and in circuit design or VLSI design. I would like to know any area which is bordering these two disciplines where I can pursue in research.
I think biomems is the area which you can pursue. That's a very good area.
And another is, if you are not specifically using the biological knowledge, maybe medical electronics can be one where you can do a lot of electronic design, but without using very, you can say, the biological principle, rather for healthcare.
Like implantable devices.
Implantable devices, measurements, measuring devices that are more or less used only in the healthcare sector. That is also one possibility.
So, continuing our panel discussion, there's always a dilemma in the minds of BITSians that whether they...
I'm sorry to interrupt. I have to leave. Is there any very specific question that you had planned to grill me on? Then you are. Otherwise, it's okay. So, thank you very much. It was wonderful listening to all of you. Have whatever the remaining part of this discussion, have fruitful discussion. All the best to you.
So, continuing with the discussion, there's generally this dilemma that whether a student should opt for a PS2 or a thesis. We have addressed some part of this particular question, but again, when we talk about thesis, there is a question of off-campus or on-campus thesis. So, I would like to hear it from Professor Sarang at Goa campus that on what factors should we decide that whether should we go for an on-campus or an off-campus thesis?
Yeah, actually coming to this question, I guess Professor Anugupta and Professor Surakavan has already specified a little bit that I would also like to add something like thesis and PS is actually a culmination of your engineering work. It comes as into a fourth year mainly. So by that time a student should have a fair idea of what field he wants to apply in. So you should start looking right from the second year, because we give you a lot of tools, lot of options to explore, like starting from MATLAB, maybe NSYS or VLSI programming and circuit designing, digital system designing. So you should have focused on certain area throughout your third year. During your CDCs, you try to meet faculty, you try to talk with them, what are the different specific areas where you can do the master's or PhD, what are the narrow fields which you can target for your master's program. And based on that, it should come as your decision as an on-campus or off-campus thesis or the PS. It is not an overnight decision, I should say. So if you are working closely with certain faculty right from your second year, if you have planned your project properly, I guess it will directly come as an on-campus thesis itself, working with that faculty for another semester. Because here you will have the option that you can actually use the tools which you want or use the software which you want. Again, off-campus thesis also will be a similar way. If you have identified a particular university and a particular professor, if you had been in contact with him, then only he will prefer you as a student. But a PS is sometimes another option where you will be given a very specific problem which may not be on your own, which may not be relevant to you directly. And the tools also, the software also will be provided to you by the company. They will tell you the steps which you have to go through. And maybe you will have to work very systematically over there. But on-campus thesis, off-campus thesis are a set of problems where you can be flexible about the problem statement. You can diverse into the different points and find out the solution on your own and spend the time which will be more productive and innovative in nature. So that is how I can answer this.
Gurunaran, would you like to add something to this?
So your first question on practice school and thesis, right? Okay, now one of the... we always talk about one of the distinguishing factor of BITS Pilani compared to another university is the practice school program of BITS Pilani, where our students spent in 2 phases. So if I talk about the second phase, practice school 2, he spends 5.5 months of time in an industry. The advantage there working in industry is he gets a chance to work on a live project in an industry, which may be difficult for which may be difficult to create such a scenario in a campus. And also working in an industry could be slightly different from working in a campus, because industry always looks for time-bound completion of job. But if you look at a campus, we could concentrate more on the academics, but probably the needs of the job to be finished in time, that is, the pressure will be more on the industry. So students get to learn all those in the practice school program. So that is one of the, I will say, distinguishing factors of our university, BITS as a institute compared to another university. Now your question of whether it is an on-campus or an off-campus when it comes to thesis, as my colleague in Goa put it, it depends on the area what you want to work. So supposing if you want to work on an area of thesis where I would like to go for higher studies after completing my graduation, and if I'm able to find out that work happening in a campus where I'm studying and I have a faculty whom I could work with, I will try to choose that. But if I am interested in an area which I'm very much interested in a particular area where probably I'm not able to find a faculty working in that area, and if I find a faculty in another research institution outside other than BITS Pilani, and if I have an access to that, then I would prefer an off-campus. So it is driven by the area, what a student would like to do. Whereas if you talk about a practice school where he works on a live project, which is very difficult to simulate in an educational institute, in addition to that, he also get to know about working in industry, how is it different from working in a campus. Most of the schools, most of the universities talks about finishing schools now, but we have been doing it for the last 3 decades, this program called the practice school program.
So now another question again on PS, based on a second year's perspective, like now when they are studying the compulsory courses, how can they best utilize the PS1? Like generally whether they should go for companies which are into core or
our philosophy of a practice school 1, as it started, practice school 1 is typically an exposure oriented program.
It was when it started.
Right,
so
right. No, not started. I didn't say it's closed. Even today it could be. That's a basic philosophy. It's an exposure oriented program. And practice school 2 is where it is more project driven. Having said that, when you go to a practice school 1 organization in summer, when you spend 2 months, you will always get an opportunity. It may not be true in all the organizations. There could be certain areas which we could spend in building an application and a project. But it will be difficult for making it uniformly available across all the industries. If you take a BHL as an example, where that organization itself is so big, when you go for a practice school 1 operation, understanding various units of the practice school, the BHL station, that itself will be giving you a very good exposure for you instead of concentrating on one department in that particular organization and trying to do a project. So that's a completely different experience. But if you go for another organization where the organization is not as big as a BHL or any other government organization, you will have an opportunity to do a project. Now, with the curriculum which is being revised, which we talked about bringing more of core courses, probably I will say you are slightly better prepared at the end of second year to pick up certain discipline-oriented areas to do a project. So if you get an opportunity, do it. But I think I would still stick to the fact that practice school 1 is more of exposure, because duration is not 5.5 months, it's only 2 months. So if you wanted to do a project which is really worth explaining, you will not get that much time to do that.
I would also request Professor Chandrasekhar at Hyderabad campus to take up this question.
Yeah, as Professor Gunayan has already answered, the main aim of PS1 is exposure oriented. So the student initially, out of the 2 months, he'll be spending about 3 weeks to 4 weeks just to understand the organization, depending on the size of the organization. After 1 month or so, he'll be given some assignments. And these assignments can be based on his own interest. And most of the organizations these days provide these assignments to the student. So they can take up these assignments based on their interest and then carry out something like project-based. PS2 is the main area where we focus on the live projects, which is for 5.5 months duration. Maybe as we go along, maybe after 4 or 5 years, it might happen that we might give more emphasis to discipline-based PS1 as it starts, but not right now in the present scenario. We are trying to figure it out whether it can be possible, but not in the present scenario. Maybe down the line, we might think of.
Thank you, sir. Another question regarding the tie-ups of BITS Pilani, as in BITS, we have recently seen that BITS is signing many MOUs with companies as well as other universities. So, as in how can students be benefited from these tie-ups? Like we recently saw Honeywell coming in the campus at Pilani, at Pilani campus. So they were putting up that they have some opportunities for students, as in for maybe summer internships and all. So
when you talk about tie-up with an university and an industry, there are multiple facets to it. Okay. So when you, I'm sorry, somebody from Goa. Yeah, please. Is there a faculty from Goa Can I continue? Okay. So when you talk about tie-up with the university industry, there are multiple facets to it. So when you sign an MOU with the university industry, it supports multiple activities. One such activity could be that industry putting up certain facilities in the campus, and then students can work in that. For example, if I take an example of the embedded controller lab in Pilani here, which started maybe long back with Motorola coming here and putting the facilities in the campus, with the objective of the students taking up certain project work in that particular lab. We have such examples of university industry sponsored labs in campuses across all the three campuses. Now, if you ask, can a student go and spend an internship in that particular industry, that is how the practical operation is going to be. Okay? Now, which is the student who is going to work? There's a process to be followed. We have to make a process in which it is open to all the students, and the selection is based on the process followed there. So this MOU allows the students to go and spend the practice school in that industry. That's how the practice school operation is taken up. I suppose that's how we should view it, okay?
Thank you, sir. Moving on to the next section of the panel discussion, which is probably the last. And after that, it will be followed by the question answer session. So that's career options. So starting with my first question, research. I would like the faculty to kindly emphasize on how should one go about taking research as a career. One from an Indian perspective and second from a global perspective. So Professor Abhijit Asati can just take up this particular question.
So good evening, everybody. So the topic given is research. What is research? So research and experimental development is the formal work undertaken systematically to increase the stock of knowledge. And need of this stock of knowledge is to devise new applications. So the topic is taking research as a career perspective. So from Indian perspective and the global perspective. So from these two perspectives, we'll see the taking career research as a career. So in most of the cases, this narrows down the field of study. Means you have to work in particular domain. In some cases, if it is multidisciplinary, then you should have the knowledge of multiple domains. So that is required. So first I will talk from Indian perspective. So I have some data available from year 2006. So in India, 2.3 lakhs engineering degrees are offered every year. 20,000 engineering master degrees are offered, and only 1,000 engineering PhD degrees are offered. And if you see this PhD degree, in India it is only 1 to 2% of the graduate degrees. Okay, so total graduate, BE graduates, so of that 1 to 2% is the PhD. So the percentage of the doctoral degree to engineering degree is very much higher for other countries. If you see other countries, the USA has this 9%. Okay, out of the MS, the 9%.
I would request everyone to please maintain silence. And the people
UK has 10%. So other countries, the number of students going for PhD or MS, that is very high. So some facts, see only 1% or less than 1% of BTech opt for the MTech in India or PhD in India. So this number is very less. See, so you are belonging to that 1% and that you are looking for that option. Okay, so you are in 1% who want to do the MTech in India or PhD in India. So this only 1% or less, the graduating from BTech, from IITs or BITS, they are going for doing the MS or PhD in India. So this number is very less in fact. So why this number is less? So I have some analysis. So if you see the what are the career options available for research in India? So we have the research lab like BRC, the IGCAR, the TIFR, the Institute of Plasma Research, the CSIR, the DRDO, ISRO, and teaching. So leading IITs and BITS kind of institutes. So there you have the career options. If you see the career options at the abroad, if you do research from abroad, so after MS, if you see the from IIT, you have the jobs in Oracle, the Google, the US Navy, the US Air Force, the Amazon, Boston Consulting Group, and Apple. And if you see the salary, so salaries are very high. So India, the salary is 6 to 8 lakhs for beginners. But if you see the salary for after MS, it is $80,000 per annum. Okay, and after PhD, what are the career options? So those who get PhD from MIT, the career options for them is they can join MIT, Stanford, the Harvard, the California Institute of Technology, the Google. Many companies also offer placement. And here, if you see the how much is this salary, so this is $1 lakh. Okay, roughly $1 lakh. So this is very high here. So let us understand research, what it yields actually. So if you see research, it yields publication in terms of journal and conference papers, some patents, and some technology development. Okay, so we seen the ratio why we don't do the MS and PhDs in India. So this you see from in BTech. The salary hike from BTech to MTech to PhD. This is in the ratio of 1:1:1. Okay, so there is no increase actually. So those who are pursuing PhD or the MS in India, they do not have the much salary benefit. Okay, so that is the one reason they don't go for the doing PhD or MS from India, and that 1% crowd that you have, you mostly going for doing for MS or PhD from abroad. So I have the other statistics from the other institutes like MIT and this University of Illinois Urbana campaign. So there if you see the ratio, this bachelor salary is 1 and this master salary is 1.25 times and the doctoral salary is 1.5 times. Okay, so you have the better job opportunities at abroad. Okay, so that is the advantage you are seeing here because the job offered and salary offered is very high. So that is how you can see your career as in the Indian and the global perspective, salary wise, it's making difference. Let us see others. So at present, the engineering system in India is unable to offer or attract the best students for a research. So, but you have the many options when you want to go for research. What kind of PS you should choose? So instead of BHEL, you can use the CSIR lab. If you want to build career, you can use the CSIR kind of labs. See, the many scholarship and internships are available. So I will read some of the internship that will be of your interest. So internship options in India, how to utilize your summer, that is one of the example I will give. So TIFR, so you can apply for internship there. The IAS, Indian Academy of Science, Bangalore. INSA, the Indian National Science Academy, Delhi. Then you have the National Academy of Science, Allahabad. Then UGC also offer the summer internship in IISc, Bangalore. And GE and Microsoft, they also offer some internship. So you have to go to that websites and check whether you are looking for internship in India. You also have the internship options abroad. So you have the CERN as the one internship option. So this is European Organization for Nuclear Research. You have the MITEX. So you can apply in MITEX. So this is Canadian non-profit organization that offers funding for internship and fellowship at Canadian University. So MITEX global link is available. And the Carnegie Mellon and other universities, some of the other universities, they are also offering the internship at US. So that is roughly of the amount of 300 or 3,000 US dollar. Okay, so that is how I will conclude. So any other question if you have, you can ask.
I would like to take an opinion from Professor Anupama at Goa campus. Your views on this particular topic?
See, what I believe is research is whether you do it in India or if you're doing it abroad. But the main thing is why it has more advantages in doing research in a university abroad would be the presence of large number of research labs. If you go to a university in US, for instance, the number of research labs are very large and that is an attractive option. And here maybe IITs have some amount of research labs, but nowhere close to what an US university would have. And what is the main reason for that fact is the large amount of funding that comes to these research labs from the industries. Here in India, for instance, if I want to set up a research lab, I have to go to a research funding agency, and that is a long procedure to set up a research lab. Whereas there is huge funding. If you look at CMU, a lot of money was invested into CMU for information technology. And they have some of the best facilities which would be there in terms of research labs, in terms of networking. I mean, that is mainly because the industry backed up CMU in terms of fundings, especially in IT and robotics. So they have the best possible labs there. And industry backup is one of the reasons why in terms of US universities, you're going to have very good labs. And also there's another thing, when you talk about US universities, when they are picking up a new area, if they do not have any development tools in that area, they also have the tendency that they say, okay, I can also do the development of the development tools. Now, what we do is we wait until the development tool is probably brought out by an US university. We also lack courage in terms of picking up a new area and, saying, okay, no development tools, fine. I will build a simulator for this. Is what I feel is lacking in terms of the Indian perspective. I would rather buy a simulator or wait for a US university to build that simulator. So probably that's why they are always leading in terms of research when compared to us.
Definitely.
That's what I would.
So, I would suggest that students at Pilani campus, if you want to have some real analysis, just go to Professor Asati. He has actually got the analysis of all these things. And at Goa, I would request you to go to Professor Anupama. Okay. Moving on to the next question, a very quick as an idea of if a student wants to go for an MS or PhD, how should he approach it? I would like Professor Pawan Sharma and Navneet Gupta to take up this particular question.
So as a student must be knowing that the institute has constituted the departmental research committee in each department. So what the student has to do, that the student has to look into the tie-up institutes, like for example, you have TIFR, you have Sankar Netralaya, if the student wants to work in the biomedical instrumentation, and there are other institutes as well. So what the student has to do, that is students to find the supervisor there, and they have to apply to the DRC of the in the department, and DRC will look into the matter that whether it is feasible to allow a particular student to allow him to work there together with the co-supervisor in the department. So this is one of the point. And as already Dr. Asati mentioned that there are various internship program in these institutes, and these institutes basically advertise their program in the month of January and February. So a student has to apply for that, and while applying, they have to take the recommendation from 2 of the professors, so that will help a lot. And yes, I mean, basically a student can work in the other universities also, because as you must be knowing that there are 40 MOUs with the foreign university, with the BITS, so students can work there also. But then department has to allow, department has to see that whether it is feasible or not. So directly it is not there. So that is from my side.
As Dr. Asati and Dr. Navneet Gupta rightly mentioned, that there are a lot of opportunities in India to carry out your MS or PhD program. So essentially your MS is mostly your career-oriented program, a 2 years program, whereas your PhD is more of the research-oriented program. And to pursue PhD, you require more money, more time, and this is more of a wider research prospects which PhD provides compared to MS. So essentially, if you ask me, how to go about it, how to apply for MS and PhD across the nation, or
the question would, I would like to ask you that how should one go in his academic year for academics in undergrads? When we are undergrads, how should we go about choosing that? Okay, one is interest. Definitely, you need to find out the interest. But how to exactly go about taking courses, taking projects?
So if you ask me that if you are actually, or if I take the other perspective, if you're not enjoying your college or not enjoying your studies in your 4 years program, then don't go for graduation and for MS or PhD. Okay, so if you really love your studies, if you really enjoy the work that you are doing here in 4 years, then definitely you should go for MS or PhD. Now, when you apply for MS or PhD, the certain essential points that I'd like to mention is that if you have some good work experience before returning to the grad school, that would definitely help you in getting the options for MS or PhD in a good university. So it increases your maturity level or better perspective you have if you have a prior experience before applying for MS or PhD. Definitely good grades help you a lot, but they don't guarantee an admission in MS or PhD. Your GRE scores, or if you have any prior research experience, like you do projects or dissertation or thesis during your UG program, that definitely helps you a lot. Then most of the universities, they ask for a research statement where you need to mention like in which areas you want to do research, what areas interest you, any research programs you have worked on, and why do you want to join that particular institute to pursue your MS or PhD. So you have to be very specific in mentioning these points if you are targeting a particular university. Bragging, exaggerating, or using cheesy stories, they never help. So when you go to a professor to ask for a letter of recommendation, make sure that the recommendation letter contains the keywords like you are an independent thinker, you are a motivated person, or a strong research potential you have. So exaggerated language will never help you in getting a good university. And then MS and PhD, they charge you a lot. They're very expensive in foreign universities. So you have to find out what are the kind of supports which are available in the universities, like teaching assistantship, any research assistantship is there, or any fellowship is granted. So you need to find out, how many professors are looking for new students in those universities, and they are doing research in which you also want to work in. So roughly you will have to do a lot of Googling and checking which universities are offering which projects, which professors are offering what projects, and if it really interests you, then start applying in your final year and apply to 10 or 15 universities, and then choose the best one that suits you.
Thank you, sir. The last question from my side, and then we will throw the session open for questions from each campus. Placement scenarios in BITS Pilani, all EEE, ENI, and ECE. So in term, I want the answer specifically in terms of R&D sector, as in scopes in R&D sector for various companies, then in core companies and PSUs. So I would like faculties, as in multiple faculties from each campus, to answer the question. I'm not putting it to a particular person. So can we start with Professor Patnaik at campus? Mr. Patnaik, Professor Sahu.
Basically, question.
So the placement scenario in BITS Pilani, in terms of R&D sector, core companies, PSUs, the various, as PSUs won't...
I'm not involved in placement section, so I request someone who is involved, it will be better.
Sir, did you get my question?
Yes, I request someone else to take.
As far as the EEE branch is concerned, there are various companies in India, like ST Microelectronics in Greater Noida, that works in the VLSI design and microelectronics. Then you have Semiconductor Complex Limited in the Mohali and in Hyderabad. And then you have government sector also, like CD Pilani as well as CD Chennai. And also there are a lot of work that is going on in DRDO in the communication field and in the sensor areas. Then there are other organizations, other labs of CSIR also that works on this area.
Can you take up for ENI as an
instrumentation? I'm seeing that our students are going into Texas Instruments Their work on circuit designing, signal processing, ST microelectronics, then National Instruments also, every year they go. Then for this public sector, the students are going to NTPC, BHL, like they write that it has been a satisfying experience for them to work there. So that's how it is.
One more area is like electronics uses a lot of software. So even major software companies, they also hire students from electronics discipline, because the knowledge of electronic discipline is necessary to create softwares for the usage in this discipline. So that is also one option where students can go for a career option, career choice.
Goa campus, Professor Anupama, can you just take up this question?
See, if you're talking in terms of campus placement and talking about RD's research and development sector, they would probably prefer a student who has a master's or a PhD. Okay, you have a lot of core companies coming in different areas, whether it's communication, whether it is electronics, or whether it's electrical. BHL does come in public sector units, and there are other core companies. You have ST Microelectronics, which comes in for electronics. You have Qualcomm, I think, which comes in. Broadcom also is there for communication. A lot of companies come in for communication. There are companies which come for embedded systems or VSA architecture, particularly in terms of core companies. I think that's the same status in all campuses, right? Intel comes, there's Intel research that comes, Microsoft research will also be there. Yeah. And I think there's also that robotics company which... Yeah, mechatronics. I think networking companies like Cisco also offer jobs, and they take both undergraduate and postgraduate students. Yeah. If you want exact statistics, I think you would get them best from your placement divisions. If you want exactly how many companies come and how many students are picked up by each company.
This much is fine, ma'am. So, wrapping up from my side, I would put the session open for question answers to students. Let's have it this way. Let's have 2 questions from each campus because we are short of time. And we can start with Pilani itself. If no question, I would feel that it was good on our part.
Excuse me. Question. My name is Vatsal Malavya. I wanted to ask that if there's any in relation to the campus placements, what is the disadvantage of being an ENI student over a EEE student, and how do you overcome that, if there are any?
I think maybe I don't feel there is any disadvantage as such because they are also going into all, because electronics is common to both of them, only the companies which require specific to communication field. So there may be, like you will not be naturally shortlisted for that. Otherwise, if there is electronics design companies, so they will be, in fact, you have an advantage that process industries also will offer you.
And I think now you have many flexibilities available. So if you are in an E&I discipline, you can actually do projects.
Communication also.
In communication also, in electronics, core electronics also, you can actually add weight to your degree program. That is also a possibility. So it's up to the student to make his degree program chart. So you should not say that E&I is less than EEE or ECE is better than EEE. No. Because the core is, the base is always electronics. It's only that you would be doing certain extra courses other than what EEE people are doing. But then it's all up to you how to make a choice. Though instrumentation companies may be less, but electronics companies, you can also apply to electronic companies, core electronic companies. As I said, so software companies which design software for electronic products, electronic courses. There are many options. Electronic, you can do projects in computers to go for electronics dealing in the companies dealing in networking, electronics and networking. So there are a lot of, you can say, options available. Only thing is that you have to be alert and be aware. A little bit of groundwork is necessary for all the students in EEE discipline.
Does that answer your question? Yeah. Next question from Pilani campus.
Hi, this is Akshay. I am a master student from in embedded system. Actually, I had already been through my placement sessions, and so what we saw was that some particular subjects were missing from our curriculum. So we had a talk with the HOD as well as some other faculties for some things to be done regarding the curriculum. So actually we found out that something called reading course is also available. What are the options if we want to pursue a course like this, which is not available in the campus as such, but still we want to study that?
Like that is a possibility. Like there are various online courses also. So maybe you can take a reading course at our university and you can take lectures from there and you can discuss every week. You can give a presentation to your supervisor with whom you are doing a reading course. That is also a possibility, and that is what is I think being done at the Hyderabad campus also. And then you have a research practice option for the higher degree students. So we are offering a lot many flexibilities. So I think the first thing you should do, know about the flexibilities available, and then plan for your choice, so choice of career. So it's not that flexibilities are not available. If you are not clear, please come to us, please talk to us. We will give you a better, you can say, scenario when you start discussing with us.
Yes, I want to add, in research practice, we give the freedom to the students that they can approach the faculty of their interests, right? If he's interested in particular areas, he can approach the faculty and he can pursue his interests. And this way he can gather the extra knowledge which he wants. So that is like flexibility we have.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does.
So I would like to pass on to Goa campus for questions.
Yeah,
Specify faculty if you want to ask to someone particular.
No, it's for the entire panel actually. We have taken some feedback from the companies which come to our campus for placements, and they've said that where we lack, our curriculum lacks in RF design, detailed analog design, and also some hardware companies require that the EEE students should also be aware of OOPS and Python as well. And all this isn't there in our curriculum yet. So what can be done about this?
Now these are included in discipline.
I would request students to wait till teachers leave. Okay. The panel discussion is still on, so please wait.
Now these OOPS, computer architecture, they are all included now in discipline electives. You see your new curriculum. Because we also got this feedback, so that is why this has been included now.
RF and analog design are very important for us, and as per the companies, what they say, the feedback.
ADVD is now a compulsory.
It is a compulsory
discipline
course. You can
only.
take analog IC design as an elective. You can take analog and mixed signal design as an elective. All these choices are available to you.
This operating system, computer architecture, object-oriented, these are all now your discipline electives, so you can take them.
RF microelectronics or analog and 6th level course.
Anupama ma'am, actually, you can also put in your views.
I think the list would not have analog and design, but it does have OOP, one thing that has been added, and computer architecture is there. Operating systems also you can see there is now there on the list. Analog IC design or RF microelectronics does require that you do have some basics before you go into it. The kind of analog IC design which you are talking about is already dealt in with the course analog and digital VLSI design. The more advanced courses like RF microelectronics, for instance, are 6th level courses. If you are really interested in doing work in RF design, you can take it up as a project. But the 6th level course, there would be certain restrictions for you in taking the 6th level course because it will have prerequisites of a 5th level course.
Any company won't expect.
And any company, an undergraduate student, it will not expect you to know RF microelectronics to that. You know, you are not expected to know RF microelectronics to that depth. Any US university also doesn't offer RF design as an undergraduate course. And it does open it as an elective with a lot of restrictions.
Also, OOPS is only restricted to CS and IS.
No. Oops,
For
it is
us,
disciplinary elective. Please
for
look at
us,
that.
for third years, for electives offered, it wasn't open as per the ARC. That's what it
You are in the third year currently, right? But you would have been doing it in the old curriculum. And that CS and IS department would decide how many seats are open for the other departments, because for them primarily it is a CDC. So they would have to use their students first, and then they decide how many students from a EEE or an ENI batch can take. And if you are really interested, I think OOPS is offered in both the semesters. It would be available as a limited number of seats for electives. We have taken care of that in the new curriculum, that it is a disciplinary elective and there are definite number of slots open for EEE and ENI students from the new curriculum.
We have the next question from Goa campus.
Yeah, hello.
You are audible.
Hello. Am I audible now?
Yeah, you are audible.
Yeah. Hello. Good evening to all. This is Ashish. I am a third year student. Yeah, ENI. I had this idea that there were some electives in biomedical instrumentation, which I felt was necessary because I had interest in that. But due to some of the other reasons, these electives were not offered during all semesters. I mean, they were offered in one semester and were not available in the next semester. So the problem was, suppose I had to prepare for some competitive exam like GATE. So I had to complete my preparation beforehand, and I had to plan my studies accordingly. But since it was not available this time, so I couldn't pursue it at the time I wanted. Can you please shed some light more on it?
You see, when we talk about electives being available, you have to understand, if it is available before you graduate in some time, you're able to do that. That should be fine. If you think certain courses are to be offered in all the semesters, it's not going to be possible, because a department will be able to offer the electives out of a pool, and it depends on the faculty availability. Even though I agree that you as an individual would want this to be taken up at a time when you wanted it, but as an university, if it takes care of it, areas which are important are courses offered, and student gets a chance to do that before he graduates, that's what we could do that, because we may not be able to offer all electives at all times.
Probably should have taken it up as a SOP, study-oriented project. You could have discussed with the concerned faculty and you could have done the course.
Yeah,
But it's
agreed.
not offered in a particular semester.
Yes, sir. But actually, I had other SOPs also, because I have taken SOP in communication. So I was like going into more than one field and observing like what was my interest. So by the time I had to do this, I had my plan that I would do this now. So now it is not available. So
that's why I told you. That's why I told you that a department as a department would like to see what is best possible to be made available to students. Certainly there will be limitations. Every elective in the chart is impossible to offer. It's not only in BITS. If you look at any university, that's the scenario. Okay.
Can we have questions from Hyderabad campus?
Hello. I'm Prachi from Hyderabad campus. My dual degree is EEE. So the old curricula still applies to the 2010 batch. And we'll be doing all our CDCs in a span of just 1 year. And only after we are exposed to all our CDCs will we be able to take up rigorous projects in electronics. So I just want to ask the panel to suggest ways to make the most out of this 1 year of our EEE CDCs. Because after that we will have left for our PS, so we won't get time to explore various areas.
So do you want to spend 1 more year? Or you want to finish?
No, so I'm a dualite. So
Which year? Which year you are in now?
Currently. I'm in third year currently.
Third year, right? So yes, you are admitted to 2 degree programs.
Yes, sir.
And you will get the advantage of getting 2 degrees in 5 years. So why don't you look at the advantages of what you get?
Sir, but still, if you want to explore, if you want to take up like rigorous projects in electronics, only after you have done your CDCs, you'll be able to.
No. See, the CDC term is, I don't think it's a well-defined term. Compulsory disciplinary course is what we're calling CDC?
Yes, sir.
Have you done a course on electronics in second year?
Yes, we did.
Will you call it as a discipline course or non-discipline course?
It is a discipline course.
So don't say I am getting courses only in 1 year. There are courses which you are doing in second year also, courses you are doing in first year also. As I said, you are admitted to a program and you have to do 2 degrees in 5 years. There's something beyond, you can't be doing 10 courses in a semester, right?
So, but then those courses don't really...
No, I'm only giving an answer. We could discuss this. I am still not discouraging you from making best use of it. I think the department heads will help you out in sorting it out. I only wanted to make a point clarified that there is only certain things which you could do within a given time. Okay?
And then you will have the option of taking one sem PS and one sem thesis also. So if you really want to do a research work, then even thesis can be a good option for you. Do not take double sem PS. That can also be one possibility.
And if you are interested, you can attend some courses when you are in a campus.
Informally when you are doing your thesis, you can attend some courses as well. You can talk to the concerned instructor, take his or her permission, and attend the courses.
All right, thank you, sir.
So just the last question from Hyderabad campus.
This is Venkatesh from Hyderabad campus. We claim our curriculum to be the best in Asia for EEE and ECE or ECE, but not a great percentage of students are getting placed in core companies. Why there is such a lapse, and what's need to be put from student side to be confident to placed in a core company?
What is this question?
Can you
repeat the question?
I mean, why not a great percentage of students are getting placed in core company, and what extra efforts need to be put from student side to be confident of being placed in a core company?
I think you should study well the courses, whatever you are doing. Okay? Attend all the classes. Okay? And I think as a university, we will make opportunities available for core companies to come. I don't have the statistics right now with me. As somebody said, we could look at the statistics of the placement unit and see how many companies came with the hope of getting how many students and how many finally they could recruit it. If we could analyze it and then understand it. So problems could be at many ends, okay?
We will end the session right okay.
Can I answer to this to some extent? If you see, to make a computer, how many people are required? But how many people are using the computer? Right? To make a computer, core engineers, core people are required. But to use that, so many opportunities are there. All people can use. So in this way, whenever you consider a EDA tool software, some people are required, which and using that software also is used to make a computer, make a processor. But the number of people which we are using for processor is much more. So in this perspective, you will see the core jobs are very much limited in comparison to the applications jobs. So that is how, in fact, in the reality also, the number of jobs available for core companies are less in comparison to the other regions. That is also one reason because of what there will be a difference.
I think he's very right, Professor Sahu, because automation has really decreased the need for manpower in core companies. So we have more jobs in service sector now. That is also one of the reasons. I think he's very right.
So I would like to hand over my mic to Abhilash at Goa campus to propose the vote of thanks. Abhilash, you can just take it up.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. It's my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. I, on behalf of the entire Embraer team, across all campuses, would like to thank all the faculty for taking time out of their busy schedule being with us and sharing their opinions regarding the important issue of career revenues for EEE, NI, and ECE students. We are all inspired by your great words. I would also like to thank all the technical assistants for putting in extra hours to make this event a success. Further, we are grateful to all the students for their enthusiastic participation in making this event a lot more interactive. Thank you.
I request students to remain seated for a few moments till the teacher leaves. Students, please be seated.
These people party.